Okay, so let's start using Substance. After I run the Substance or have opened it, I'll go to File and I'll choose New and I'll choose Substance Graph. I'll set this to empty graph, set this to 2K resolution, and then I'll leave the rest as default, press OK. Now we have this. Let us navigate in Substance. So to navigate here in your 3D view, you can simply do a left click. Left click means you are rotating the object or the scene. Right click and drag is your track zooming or zooming your element or your scene, and then press the middle mouse or the scroll and then drag. You are panning. Just a review: left click and drag, view rotate, right click and drag, track zoom, middle mouse pan. So that is your navigation shortcuts. Another, you can go here in the environment and choose edit. You will see that you have an environment map. To show that map, you just click here, set this to true, and you'll be able to see your environment map. You can hold Control and Shift, right click and drag, and you'll be able to rotate the environment map. And as you rotate the environment map, you can see that the lighting also is reacting or rotating. And since the lighting is rotating, it is also interacting with your sample object. Okay, so remember that. Control Shift, right click and drag, so we can view rotate it. Now the thing that I will do is I will turn off the environment. Then I will convert my object in, or my scene object, into here in the scene. I'll set it to high resolution plane or plane high res. And then I will set my materials default, and I will choose metallic roughness with tessellation and displacement, clicking that. So now it is set. Always remember that this is content sensitive. Whichever we set or click by the nodes, it will be reflected here in the properties tab. Okay, so with that, I will now create my first node, spacebar, and then I will just type in here base. Once I click the base, it will show base material. Like to have base color, base material, and then I will just click this. It will give me a node that is called a base material. Now if I press 1, it will show me all the material contents, just like in our 3D softwares. The materials there have base color, normal, roughness, metallic, height, and ambient occlusion. So it is also what is contained here in our base material in Substance Designer. I will press number 3 to hide that. And then I will just right click on this node. I will right click, hold, and drag it onto the plane so that we will be able to see what happens, or we will be able to preview it in the 3D view as it is being shown there. So here it is showing now in the 3D view. So for example, if I click my node and then go to the properties and go down to the roughness and glossiness, if I set this glossiness or roughness to the right, which means it is going to be rough, and as I shift control and then drag, so the light is just being absorbed by the plane. But if I drag this to the left, which means black, it is going to be very glossy or smooth. As you can see, it has become so reflective, and it is now reflecting the environment that I have set earlier, or that is set by default. Okay, so now that we have our first node, let us add another. Okay, so before we create a new node, I'll just set back the glossiness to a little less reflective amount. Okay, so with that, let's add some new nodes. Spacebar. I will set this to Berlin noise. I'll click that one, so it has that type of noise. Then I will just increase or decrease the scale of this so that it will be a bit rounded like that. Next is I would like to input this onto this base material node that we have, but I cannot. There's no input node for this, but only an output node. So I will go here to my base material. I'll click that, and then I will just go down here, scroll down, and then you will see user defined maps. Okay, so right now if it is false, it is not appearing here. I will just choose, for example, height, because this is a black and white noise or a grayscale noise that we can use as bumps or heights for material. So I will click this height so that it will appear there. Now I will just click this and connect it there. Next is we can also use this. We can also use this as a normal. So I will just do a space bar, and then I will type in here normal, and then I have a normal. After that, so I will just click this. So now it becomes, or it is going to be in the input as a normal, but as you can see, nothing is appearing here. So what I will do is I will go to the normals channel, and then I will try to increase the amount, but still nothing is happening because it is just set to 3. I will press undo to adjust the amount. So still in the normals properties, I'll set this, for example, to 20. And after I have set that to 20, as you can see, a value appears, or it becomes more obvious. I can adjust further the amount. For example, I'll set that to 30. And from here, as you can see, it's now more visible. But as you can see here, let me just raise this up. There is no slots or inputs for the normal, for the base material, right? So that's what I'll do again. I'll select the base material. So after I selected the base material, I will now go down here into my user-defined maps. In the user-defined maps, as you can see, a normal slot is also there. I will click to turn it true, and then the normal input appears. Click that and drag. So now we have this. As you can see in the preview, it is appearing. If I will control shift and drag, the lighting is reacting to it. Right? Next, I said I would like to distort this, so I will now distort this surface using these two maps. So how do I do that? I will click once more the base material. I'll go to materials, and if you will remember, our material, or the material we are using, is a tessellation displacement material. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just click the edit materials, default, edit portion. So now this will appear. As you can see, there's a scale here. If I will once more type in the scale, for example 20, so now it starts to get distorted in accordance to the normal and height maps that we have. So I will go back to my excuse me, material once more, materials, default, edit, and then the scale that I have adjusted, I will further adjust that. Let's say I want it like this. I want it to be obvious. Let's say around 33, and then there it is. So the surface is now distorted. Okay, so on the next lesson, we will try to add further distortions here using other nodes. I'll see you on the next lesson.